McDonald.
Yeah, he's got a great double leg shot, but he does it on the left side, which is very difficult to counter because most wrestlers are right-handed and right-footed, and they shoot it on the other side, so it's difficult to counter.
Here comes Victor Kodei of Nigeria. He'll be wrestling in red.
From Canada, three-time national champion.
And now Scott Bianco of Kamloops, BC, makes his way into the sold-out venue here at Wanda Fuca Recreation Center. A strongly partisan Canadian crowd. A reminder that we will be staying on the air for an extra half hour tonight to bring you all 5 of these wrestling finals. This is the 4th, and so far Canadians have won the previous 3. The referee brings the wrestlers together and whistles the bout underway for gold in 90 kilos.
Both wrestlers look for an opening, tap and go, pull and push, try and create an angle. Nigerian made the first shot, little bang in the eye there. Should be okay in a couple of seconds.
Nigerian appeared to take a butt, Ian, 10 seconds in.
I think it was a hand to the forehead or nose, the eye area. He'll be fine.
Another look at it, Ian. Yeah, it looks like a thumb may have caught him, the right hand of Bianco.
Indeed it does. There he is. Yeah, he's wincing in the eye. Here they go.
Wrestlers are given up to 2 minutes for an injury timeout. If they cannot continue, the match is over. But it looks like this is no reason for concern. Back on, 4:50 to go for the gold in the 90 kilo class.
Double leg by Nigerian, 1-point takedown.
And Bianco caught by surprise there, down 1-0 now, 20 seconds into this bout.
Caught napping, the stance is way too high. You have to be lower in order to stop those leg shots. He was a little too high. Nigerian got underneath and powered through from the double leg.
But to know Scott Bianco is to know that he's unflappable. This won't get to him.
Laced ankles by the Nigerian, hand to hand. It should be one, and then they're out of bounds. Scott Bianco being very fortunate.
The referee signals one more point for the Nigerian, and he quickly opens a 2-0 lead.
It's going to be difficult for Scott Bianco because I don't believe he's been behind in any match so far this tournament. So it'll be interesting to see how he reacts.
Bianco trying to get a grip. I should tell you, he has one of the strongest grips in the Canadian team. When he's not wrestling, he's rock climbing. Hard to get away from. Mark Lee with Ian McDonald and Canadian gold medalist Chris Wilson here following the 90 kilo gold medal match in wrestling. 1 minute gone now, and it's 2-0. Nigeria in red.
Nigeria in on the single leg. Number of things he can do here. Scott Bianco very flexible. You can see him bending the knee, trying to stay close, trying to scramble away here. No point given yet. No control by Nigerian. And an escape. No control. No point given. They're back to neutral on their feet.
Chris, what can you tell us about what Scott might be thinking right now?
Scott hasn't been behind in this tournament, but quite often in other tournaments he has a bit of a slow start. So I don't think he's that worried. He's extremely good at defending. I think he was a little slow at starting there, but as you saw just now, he defended quite well. So I think he's still pretty confident. Oh, geez. No points yet.
No points yet. No control. Nigerian back in the single leg here. Bianco with the whizzer on with his left hand and trying to rip the hands apart with his right. He'll use Nigerian as his other leg and stay up on his feet, not give the takedown here.
Victor Kodei of Nigeria in red, leading Scott Bianco of Canada in blue, 2-0 with 3 minutes to go in this gold medal match.
Referee calling for action. Nigerian's got to move. He'll try and back up and maybe clear the leg, but there he goes. He's trying to back up and clear it, and Bianco scoots away. No point.
Jim Miller, the head coach of the Canadian team, telling us before tonight's competition began that it's hard to rattle Scott Bianco, and so at this point we know that he can't be too concerned, Chris.
No, I think, like I said, he's probably pretty confident. What he's got to do now is he's got to get some offense going. He just got penalized a caution here because he wasn't being aggressive enough. He's quite good at escaping from the bottom, though, so there's a chance he might be able to get an escape point here.
The referee sends Bianco in blue down in the referee's position with 2.5 minutes to go. Canada trailing 2-0. Now he's going to stand them up. What's going on here?
The Nigerian wrestler wasn't happy with how Scott's position is, but there's nothing wrong with that.
He's got to put his hands on his back, does he not, to begin this?
Yeah, he's just been given a false start there. But I think you'll see Scott try to get out here, and if Scott does get out and attacks off the escape, he would get a point. But there's no action, so the ref stood him up.
You made a good point earlier, Chris. Scott Bianco has yet to make a leg shot. He's got to go to the offensive in order to win this match.
Doesn't he like the double leg takedown? Isn't that one of his favorite moves?
He does, and I think you'll see that when they get back up, he'll probably try it pretty soon.
The time is running out. The clock shows 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go. The Nigerian, Victor Kodei, in red, right now dictating the terms of this bout. He leads 2-0.
Both wrestlers to their feet because, in the referee's opinion, not enough action in the parterre position. That's the ground position. The international language of wrestling is French, and that's why I use the French term.
And each time the Nigerian is the man to make the first move here.
He's very quick, and he's really taken the match to Scott. And I don't think Scott's that used to that.
Nigerian in on the single leg. Scott Bianco countering with a wizard, keeping the pressure of his shoulder onto the Nigerian shoulder, trying to step over. They may give a point, and indeed they do. Point takedown.
Now this is serious. Victor Kodei leads 3-0.
Scott's really going to have to take the initiative here. You know, he can't sit back and wait anymore.
There he goes. Single leg himself. See if he can get any points.
Now Bianco goes to work, showing the first bit of enthusiasm we've seen from him so far in this bout. 1:28 to go. No points on that play. 3-0. Victor Kodei of Nigeria leading Canada's Scott Bianco.
Bianco in on the leg. Double leg. Left.
Yeah, there's a big move.
Oh, he only gave one. It should have been feet. It was feet to back. I thought it might have been 3. Very unfortunate.
Make it 3-1. Scott Bianco now desperate to score points to get back into this gold medal final. The crowd edging him on.
He's in the laced ankles. He's trying to hit his bridge and turn his opponent to his back.
The Nigerian makes his way outside the 9-meter wrestling area, and so the referee stops it and stands them up. Looks like Scott's got a problem with his eye.
He got banged a little bit in the eye when the Nigerian wrestler, Kodei Victor, moved forward, and I think he caught a heel as he went by.
Scott wears contact lenses too, so I think might have got it moved a little bit there.
Bianco takes a look at the clock. 59 seconds left. 3-1. He trails the Nigerian in red.
He's got to go to the attack. He's being successful when he goes to the attack. Here he goes again. Takedown.
1 point. It's 3-2 now. 50 seconds to go. Bianco working feverishly to get back into this bout.
He's into a Seeger. He's looking for bad point. He'll look to step over the head.
Trying to expose the Nigerians back to the mat, but he comes away without a point. Crowd booing the referee's decision to stand them up. Now he looks at the judges.
Coach Jim Miller telling him in no uncertain terms, he's got to attack. Get in there on the legs, he's telling him. That's where you're having success, and we've seen it with the double and the single leg.
Now Kodei of Nigeria down and in obvious pain with 39 seconds showing on the clock. He leads by 1, 3-2. His left eye.
This is an unfortunate incident because the tempo of the match was changing, and it was changing in favor of Scott Bianco. He was carrying the match, the Nigerian, with about a minute left. He was on his way to win this match. Let's hope he can keep the momentum going when the match resumes.
Chris Wilson, this is a very tense situation.
I wish I could just watch. I wish I didn't have to comment, to tell you the truth.
Now, we should tell our viewers that if this Nigerian is unable to continue the match, it will be decided and ended on injury, much the same way Ragusa's match was ended last night. Paul Ragusa tearing ligaments off his ankle, and he lost 1:13 into his gold medal bout at 48 kilos.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see that happen here, Mark. I think the Nigerian will be all right. I think a little bit of this is a bit of him taking a rest and trying to change the tempo of the match.
Yes, we could see a real change there with about a minute left in the match. Bianco listening to Coach Jim Miller's instructions to get on the legs and get things going before time ran out and it was too late.
As the medical officials, here's another look at the replay.
There we see Scott Bianco in on the leg. He has control of one leg. He's trying to get back points by stepping over the Nigerian's head and forcing the back to the mat.
He's all right, and he bought himself some time to recover. The question now, does Bianco have it in him to score at least 1 to force overtime, 2 to win?
Now, I think they're going to put the Nigerian down on the mat to start with, and I don't know if that's going to help Scott. I think Scott would rather have him standing up.
And he's asked, I think, the referee to have them both standing. Indeed, that's his choice. He can put him up on his feet if that's what he so desires. Here we go.
Here goes Bianco, 39 seconds to go.
Chasing his opponent around the mat.
He's desperate for a point. It's 3-2 Nigeria. 30 seconds to go.
Get on the leg.
Time stopped at 27 seconds. This is very close.
Crowd urging him on. Bianco with a 2-on-1, trying to get an angle. There he goes on the leg again. Nigerian counting. He knows he has to come to him. He knows
19.
Bianco's got to come to him.
17 seconds. Time not on his side. Bianco trying to get a point. The referee now warns the Nigerian for passivity with 10 seconds left.
Yeah, Scott's going to try to turn him here. The Nigerian is pretty passive, and they're not going to give Scott a point for him backing up now. So his only really hope is to try to turn him here.
10 seconds left.
We'll see if he uses a gut wrench or a laced ankles. Down the laced ankles right away. So try and hit his bridge. There he goes. Hand to hand. That's one.
For a point.
He's got it. He's got it. Ties it up.
Bianco ties it up with 3 seconds left in regulation time.
We have overtime.
Nigerian is incensed. It's 3-3 and we're going to overtime.
That's a legitimate point on the laced ankles. Hand to hand is considered enough exposure for 1 point in the ground position.
What drama here in the gold medal bout. At 90 kilos, the Nigerian, Victor Kodei, yelling at his coach. He's upset. Look at him. But the unflappable Scott Bianco did what he needed, scoring with 3 seconds to tie it at 3. We're into sudden death overtime. It's 3 minutes, but the first man to score a point can win it, Chris.
Yeah, and the Nigerian's really blowing it for himself because he's so upset with himself that he wasn't going back to the center. The referees are giving a penalty here, so Scott's got another chance to turn him.
Here we go. Overtime.
Back in the laced ankles. That's what worked last time.
Bianco working on the Nigerian's legs.
Trying to get him crossed. Got the grip now. He hit his bridge.
He's got to drive his legs.
Drive it forward. He's got to drive it forward. Trying to get a tighter grip here. There he goes. There he goes.
Crowd.
No points. Both to their feet.
The sellout crowd edging Bianco on. 19 seconds gone in overtime. The Nigerian already with 1 caution. Remember, you're only allowed 2 before you're eliminated by disqualification.
Bianco's got to keep going the attack. He's been successful with that. He's got to keep going.
Yes, Scott's got to stay on the attack here. That was what was working for him before when he was sitting back at the start. It was really hurting him. So I think if Jim's telling him anything, he's telling him to be offensive.
Scott Bianco of Kamloops, BC in blue.
Oh no, the
He's in
Nigerian's
trouble.
on the single leg.
Victor
Scott Bianco,
Kodei.
he's got to keep his balance, rip those hands apart. He'll get away. No, back in the single with 2 hands for the Nigerian.
What's he gonna do, Chris?
Oh,
He gets away.
He tried to limp arm, tried to windmill the arm through, but Bianco scoots away.
These guys are drenched in sweat. They must be exhausted.
They are. It's very
Bianco
hot
on
in
the
here.
leg.
Scott's got to come up with that leg right now.
There he is. Takedown. We're going to see a takedown.
That's the match.
Yes, great shot.
That's the match. 1 minute and 15 seconds into overtime. Scott Bianco defeats Victor Kodei of Nigeria by 1 point. The Nigerian.
That's just an amazing comeback, Mark.
What a barn
Pounding
burner.
his hands on the mat. Another goal for Canada. Make that 4 in 4 weight class finals tonight.
Good job, Scott. That shows so much heart.
Oh, it looked desperate for Scott Bianco in the final 10 seconds of regulation when he trailed by 1. He got 1 to tie it, and then in overtime, 1 minute, 15 seconds
On the
in.
replay, we see Scott Bianco dropping low on the single leg, unable to get it the first time, and then he drops in on it. No, then he drops in on it again. And this is the last point of the match. And he comes underneath. Now he's got to elevate, and he does so. We don't see it on our screen, but he scores the point on that particular move.
And you see the blood coursing through the veins of